mitigate that by simply not using the administrator account that's in Windows by default. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, hey, I need to just click on things to make it happen for me. I need to be able to open up a file and just automatically use it. Do you really need that? Because you're opening up yourself to a lot of hurt that could be actually prevented. So create a second account. If you don't know how to create a second account, have a tech help you in the process of setting up that second account. And that second account should be strictly a user account with user privileges, meaning you don't have administrator rights to go in there to make changes, to make updates without entering in the administrator password. Because if you get an user account, that's like me telling you, hey, you can go ahead and add Pentagon. I don't have access to the Pentagon. So when you go up there to the gate, guess what? You're going to be prevented access. Now, if I tell you you have access to my house and I give you the house key, then guess what? You just have the keys to my home. You can do whatever you want. But as long as I not provide you with any privileged access to my system, then you can't do anything. So it's very important that you understand that you don't need to have the full access to your system in order to do your day-to-day. I'm just going to check out my website. I'm going to check out my emails. I want to see what's going on Facebook. You just want to make sure you are not using the privilege account for just mundane day-to-day surfing. Now, the other thing is, if you're working in a business, yes, you do want to have an antivirus software because it offers you features in there that will prevent that malware from spreading across your network. So it does have its privileges, but if you're at home, you really don't need it. If you are just determined to have an antivirus software, use the Microsoft Defender. It comes onto your system for free, and with that said, it does a really good job. But again, just make note that that software that's on your system is using 1990 technology, looking for old things that, again, that has been found already to keep your system clean. It doesn't prevent you from getting infected with the latest and greatest in antivirus software. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and I skipped over it, but want to talk about is how it makes your system vulnerable. So if you pay attention to when you surf the internet, there in your browser, you'll see like a little, maybe a shield, or you might see something that says HTTPS : / That means you're going across the internet securely. Well, if I remember correctly, AVG installs a certificate which is a whole conversation that can be had in a whole at a different time, but a certificate that will decrypt your surfing to these secure sites, scan it, and then re-encrypt that for you. Well, if they're decrypting that information and you're sending across your social security, your credit card information, your personal information about you, maybe your health information. Well, if it's decrypting that prior going out, well, if a hacker understands how that works, which they do, they can get in there and they can easily take that decrypted information and use that against you. How? They can sell it to somebody else. They can impersonate you. They can run up a credit card bill for a credit card you didn't even know exists. By the time you understand that, by the time you realize it exists, guess what? You probably have $100,000 debt. You may not be liable for it, but it's just a simple fact. Now you got to fight a battle that you wouldn't even consider fighting because you're at home, you're doing the right things. So those are the main things I wanted to cover. Again, you really don't need an antivirus software. No, you really don't need to have admin rights to surf the internet. And yes, you don't have, yes, you can enjoy your surfing on your computer and do everything you need to do in terms of surfing the net and getting to the sites you need. Now, is it a pain at times to go and have to put in a password in order to be able to install your favorite piece of software? Yes. But if you only have to do it once every couple of days, and please make sure you remember the password, don't write it down and stick it under your keyboard or stick it to your monitor or put it to the side, allowing somebody else to see it. Make sure it's something that you can remember, but make it a complex enough so then that way it can't be easy to guess, especially if your dog name is Fluffy and you want to say, well, I'm gonna make my password Fluffy. Well, I can sit down and give it a few tries and be inside your network and literally impersonate you, and I have every right to do everything I need to, because why? I'm you, and you don't want me to be you. You want me to be me, not you. So I just wanted to cover that. So I want to touch one more time on the 0 day. So again, 0 day, there's no stopping it. If you notice behind me, there's a road. And that road, if somebody comes down that road right now and heavens forbid they lose control or they just decide they want to hit me, there's nothing I can do. And that's mainly because I don't perceive there as being a threat at that point in time. Same thing applies when it comes to antivirus software. Same thing applies when it comes to, if no one knows that there is a perceived threat coming in at any particular time, how can you defend yourself against it? You can prepare, but it still doesn't matter, because if you're looking for somebody to come attack you from the air and they come and attack you from the ground, then there's really nothing you can do to protect yourself. So take that to heart. Make sure you do your due diligence when you surf the net. Don't open up emails from people you don't know, especially these people that say, well, hey, dear loved one, I'm a Nigerian king and I need to send $2 million. Why would they be asking you for assistance? Or someone said, dear beloved, God has sent me your way to bless you. Again, who are they and why are they sending you, trying to send you millions of dollars? Nobody's trying to send you $1 million. They're trying to take millions of dollars from you. If you receive a link in the email talking about, hey, we can click on this link so then that way we can update your profile from your bank. Your bank would never tell you to click on a link to update a profile. In fact, I received a phone call a few weeks ago from a scammer impersonating my power company, saying that my power bill, my utilities was going to be disconnected in the next 48 hours if I didn't pay my light bill. Well, guess what? I had paid my light bill the week before and my balance was zero. So why would they be turning off my lights if my balance is zero? So I ended up calling the utility company to let them know that, hey, the scammer's going around here doing this. They were well aware of it, and I gave them all the information that I could get from that high gain for that call. So then that way they can push that out in an informal email or letter to their clients, letting them know that, hey, you cannot, we are not going right here calling people telling them they got to turn off their power. We're going to turn the power off right now. We send it in letters. And if they don't respond to those letters, then guess what? They'll turn it off. But that's protocol, and now you have hard proof that someone is trying to turn off your power, and you know exactly who's doing it or supposedly doing it, and you can follow up that way. I hope this information has been useful for you. I hope that you can glean some knowledge and hopefully save some money here in the long term if you should decide to not use antivirus. But if you should decide to continue, just know you're doing it because you want to, but not because you have to. If anybody have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You reach me directly by email, samuel.brown@packet-ex.com. That's packet-ex.com. Or you can give my office a call, 844-722-5389. Again, that is 844-722-5389. We're not here to sell you things that you don't need, but we are in business, and we're going to make sure that you get exactly what you need to protect your network. And yes, just in case that thought is on your mind, you do need a firewall. That much you do need, because that's a great way to keep people out of your network that don't need to have access. And that's something I can talk about to you in the next installment of Geek Simple.
So I do have a question. Someone wants to know, do you need both an antivirus and an anti-spyware scanner, or do you just need the firewall?
Well, the antivirus scanner, again, that goes with the antivirus. No, you really don't need that. Anti-malware, yes. I would strongly suggest you use anti-malware because you can get that from everyday surfing. One of the things that I mentioned in previous video was so the easy way to defeat a lot of this malware is simply by turning your computer off at the end of the day. Once you turn it off, it's gone. And the reason be that it's sitting in your memory. If it's sitting in memory, then and you leave your machine on, that malware is going to be there, and it's going to be attacking or sending out information to the controller, if you will, or the hacker. And there's really no way to stop it, because the malware is looking for it on the hard drive. And again, this resides in the memory. So if you turn off the machine, it's gone. And turn to the firewall, yes, I strongly recommend a firewall. In fact, I put a brand new firewall into one of my clients' networks here a couple of days ago. And once we did this upgrade, it had a lot of extra features in it. We're catching things now that we weren't even able to catch on the previous one, and we're stopping it. So we're very ecstatic about that.
One more question. Do we have to uninstall existing antivirus programs before installing a new one?
That is a must, and that's a very good question. You must install a previous one, because if you don't, so let me take a step back here. Imagine you have a 5-gallon bucket, and that 5-gallon bucket is filled up 3.5 or halfway up. So now you have technically 2.5 gallons of space in a bucket that you can use for extra water, or who knows, whatever you want to put in there, whatever other liquids. Well, once you fill it up, you're done. You can't do anything else with that bucket, because why? It's overflowing. The same thing comes, and I'm relating that toward the resources on your computer. Your computer only have a limit of resources. Your antivirus, depending on what you're using, may use a good bit of your resources, which limits. So, for instance, your operating system requires a minimum of 4 gigs to work. Windows 10 requires 4 gigs of RAM. So if someone come out there and say, hey, we need 4 gigs, I mean, your machine can have 4 gigs. I mean, your machine, you want to get operating system and your machine don't have 4 gigs. You can't do anything else, because why? Your resources are technically maxed. So you have to get something with more memory. When you install an antivirus software, it uses that, and your machine runs slow. When you add in a second one, it looks for not only resources that it can use, but it could see the antivirus that's on there also as a virus, and they both can be fighting each other, which makes your machine unusable. I know it's a long answer, but yes, you need to uninstall the previous one before you even install the new one.
Well, thank you, Mr. Brown. Can you give everyone your contact information again?
Sure. So again, you reach me at email at samuel.brown@packet-ex.com, Or you can give me a call at 844-722-5389. And you can visit my website, buy.packet-ex.com. That's buy.packet-ex.com. And you can purchase hardware from off that website. And if you need any software, give me a call or send me an email. And we'll discuss and see exactly what you need to make sure you get the items that you need to protect your system and give you extra functionality or features on your current system.
Thank you. Well, until next week,
You're
we'll
welcome.
see you again.
Oh, yeah.